Blirt, on to the number 4 game this week. I mean, shout out to this team hosting the number 4 game because we appreciate y'all last week, by the way. But you guys are hosting a team that is, dare I say, the most dangerous team in the NFL. And they're dangerous not because they're dangerous. They're dangerous because nobody saw them coming. Nobody saw this coming. Nobody saw 3-0. Now, to look at a team and to say you don't see 3-0, they got to be pretty bad. They should be horrible. But it wasn't for the reasons that you would think. We heard the name Daniel Jones being inserted to the starting lineup for the Indianapolis Colts. 2 years after Indianapolis drafted Anthony Richardson with the 4th overall pick. Now, I say that to say football, they care a lot about these overall picks. They care a lot about these top guys that they draft, and they acculate all this time into understanding how they can build this guy, or how they can build around him to build a Super Bowl contender. Well, the coach that the Colts hired who got Anthony Richardson was the same coach who said, yeah, I'm going to try this guy, Daniel Jones, who the Giants didn't want and released mid-season last year, who the Vikings then picked up and left him as a backup. Well, that Daniel Jones went into camp, won the starting job, and coming into week 4 is now 3-0. They used to call him Danny Dimes. Now they call him Indiana Jones. What it is, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. I'm going to actually watch this game because I got to see what's going on now. I understand that he has Jonathan Taylor, and that Jonathan Taylor is the number 1 running back in the NFL right now. Well, is that why they're winning? Is that why they're winning? Because they're just leaning on the running game? Well, I had to go do some research because I haven't been watching the Colts. Daniel Jones is in the top 5 passers in the NFL right now. I don't know if y'all are as surprised as me, but Daniel Jones is a top 5 passer in the NFL right now. Josh Allen's on that list. Lamar's on that. What? And I was looking at it statistically, so I know maybe 1 or 2 guys don't deserve, but watching Daniel Jones even be on that list kind of had me a little confused. Like, Danny Dimes? We smacked him in the playoffs. How? 3-0. Well, Danny Dimes, you get a test this week. Not just a test. You get a test from guys who have been salivating to play a game since Sunday last week, around a couple minutes, maybe seconds, after Jordan Davis blocked that field goal. Shout out to the Rams, yo. Shout out to Jared Verse. We needed that clip of you talking about how much trash you're going to talk about. Oh, shout out to Jared Verse. We needed that clip of you talking about all the profanities you were going to give and how the NFL should move the camera so that they don't see you. And then we watched you put a pacifier in your mouth and shut up. Well, I can't say that because you did open your mouth and all of a sudden you had all these nice things to say about my quarterback. So I guess I can't be that mad about you. You did open your mouth and say a whole bunch of nice things about our quarterback. So I guess I can't be that mad with you. I can respect it. I can respect the game. I can respect that if you won, you were about to talk your shit for real. You were ready. You were on the sidelines. You saw it. And I'm pretty sure everybody on your sideline saw it. And to have that game end like that, how do you guys think this team is going to come in on Sunday versus the Colts? I think hungry is an understatement. I think starving is also an understatement. I don't know if this team's going to come out with the hunger that they should, but I know that the hunger that they should come out with should be able to beat anybody. You don't like losses like this. And the thing about losses like this is they can carry on the right energy or they can carry on the wrong energy. I just spoke on Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones has been through plenty of losing streaks in his career. Now, how does he get off the losing streaks? I couldn't tell you. I have no idea. I've watched Daniel Jones go into the playoffs and beat one of the top teams. Daniel Jones is a confusing guy to me. But then when you get to sit back and you look at the Rams here, led by Matthew Stafford, led with Puka Nacua, led with a defense, I mean, what do they need? What do they need to get them back on track? Well, a win is what they need. A win versus a decent opponent, might I say. Decent opponent. These guys are going to give them trouble. Colts are going to give the Rams trouble. Now, coming into the season, I can't say I ever thought that I would say that. Coming into the season, after I heard Daniel Jones would be the starter, I can tell you I expected the Colts to be tanking. I thought it was a tank job. So to hear 1-0, they blew out Miami, I was like, lucky. 2-0. 3-0? Their offense is ranked second in points. Second in points. But back onto the Rams now. The Rams cannot let this bad momentum push them through the season. And what I mean by that is we watched last year a team have a victory in the same manner as the Rams and lose a game in the final seconds. Now, Jared Verse wasn't in the game, but the Chicago Bears last year did have players gloating about the victory they thought they had. And when that Hail Mary went up by Jaden Daniels and the game was over, that was the start of the Chicago Bears' 10-game losing streak. It's important to understand that momentum carries. And if they don't find a way to bust out of this right now, by bust, I mean bust out of this loss, they need to come with a certain surge of urgency. Because I'm not saying they're going to fall into a 10-game losing streak, but Chicago fell into a 10-game losing streak with a defense that was still top tier in the NFL. It wasn't for a lack of trying that they had a 10-game losing streak. It was a momentum that they could not push over. You have to get over that hill. And once you get over the hill, you can look back at it and say, all right, we've been through that. But until you push through that hill, you are in it. I'm talking about in it. But this team really needs to, I think we need to see the best Rams team that we've seen in a long time. Now, they were pretty good last week. I mean, so good, they should have won the game. But it's that type of momentum where you know you have it won and they just rip your hearts out. You got to find a way to find that heart again. That's my biggest challenge to the Rams, is finding that heart. Now, if they come out and they start destroying the Colts, I'm going to put them in my contenders list for sure. But there's always that possibility. And this Colts team this is a great suitable matchup coming into this week. This is a Colts team that they don't even know if they've been tested yet. They're just walking the lines, and we're 3-0, I guess. And this is a Rams team that most people have as contenders. The Rams are supposed to be contenders. And the way they played the Eagles last week, I mean, the second half was a little off by Matthew Stafford, but they played great. Good enough to win. They didn't, though. And that is the part that they have to get over. Now, coming into this game, the matchup that I want to see will be the wide receivers of the LA Rams going against the cornerbacks as well as safeties. Shout out Mr. International of the Indianapolis Colts. Now, we got news that Kenny Moore will be out. Colts got right to work and signed Mike Hilton, slot corner vet. Now, you could be a slot corner vet all you want, When Puka Nacua is walking in motion, boy, you better know what to do. Because that boy has routes he's running off the motion. Puka Nacua is like that. Now, how the Colts decide to play Nacua, we'll get to see that defensively. But I'm excited for this matchup. I'm excited to see how this secondary gets to set themselves up. Because it's not only Nacua. Davante Adams may be playing this week. He's been dealing with a little hamstring injury. Kind of kept him out of practice, but with OGs like Davante Adams, you never know. Now, Tre'Davious Ward, Mr. International, Nick Cross, they have guys in Indianapolis. But these are two top guys for the Rams. This is a great test. Great test for the Colts. And this is a great game for the Rams to know. Because this could have been a game versus the Raiders or versus a team that isn't as good, isn't so much of a test, where even if you win the game, you don't feel the oomph that you need. Now, this game right here, Rams versus Colts, I'm going to say yes. This was a good setup for week 4. And I want the Colts to win just because the Rams is in the NFC. But I just feel like the Rams know their backs are against the wall. Something about it tells me, because I thought immediately after that loss, and I started thinking about the future of the Rams, I went straight to thinking about the Chicago Bears. I had to go back and look. I was like, wait a minute, how many games did they lose? 10 games after that Hail Mary. Yeah, they need to get their heads out of their ass in Los Angeles so that they can actually move forward. This is a contending team. They almost beat the defending champs. They were the closest team, matter of fact, in the last 18 games to beat the defending champs, to come close. I mean, we'll see how the Rams come out. We'll see. I'm going with them. We'll see what happens. Blirt TV. We gon' run it, run it, run it, run it, run it.